My grandmother is such an incredible woman and survived and was the toughest and smartest and the best. And I just, wanted to have people share her story. I wanted people to know. And it's important for us to share. And considering what's happening now since October 7th,
If you heard what I heard, this podcast shares the powerful stories of Holocaust survivors, told by their grandchildren, the last generation to ever hear Holocaust survivor stories firsthand. So join me as we listen, learn, and remember. Together, we can make sure the world will never forget so that it never happens again. Today, I'm honored to be here with my friend, If You Heard What I Heard interviewee and advisor, founder and CEO of Autumn Communications, mom of two, Shelley Silver. Shelley shared the story of her grandmother, Dora Josephson, for If You Heard What I Heard. Dora miraculously survived the Vilna ghetto by jumping over a fence as Nazi guards were shooting at her. She lost everything in the Holocaust and managed to build a new life for herself, becoming a success in business and in life, and serving as a role model and inspiration for Shelley. Welcome, Shelley.
thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here and doing this. So many people listening to this, you may not know Shelley, but you've seen her work for our organization because she does so much for us behind the scenes and so much in the way of advising us and pushing us forward and really making our organization go. So thank you, Shelley, for everything you do for us.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I feel like I don't do enough, but thank you for saying that.
You always say that, but you do. You do so much. I
Thank
will
you.
text Shelley at sometimes 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, help. So
I try.
No, you're the best. You do a great job for us, and I'm just so grateful. So with you being involved, really, I mean, you got involved with our organization very early on. I think we weren't even a year old when you got involved. You really kind of took a chance on us by sharing your grandmother's story with us. But why was it important for you to share Dora's story with us with this no-name organization that now is growing at the time?
Well, my grandmother is such an incredible woman and survived and was the toughest and smartest and the best. And I just, wanted to have people share her story. I wanted people to know. And it's important for us to share. And considering what's happening now since October 7th, and there's crazy stats, 63% of people don't know that the Holocaust existed, which is terrifying considering what they went through. So it's just so important to get the word out. And she did the Shoah Foundation, and those videos are sacred and incredible, and I'm grateful that that exists. So I'm just glad to be part of 2 generations after that.
Yeah. And I think for us, it's interesting, even though we're two generations apart from our Holocaust survivor grandparents, I have observed that we feel so deeply what they went through. So even though we didn't go through it ourselves, we feel it.
It's generational trauma. And with October 7th, we haven't even scratched the surface of the mental health issue of what's happening and the generational trauma that this will leave for generations. My father has a lot of generational trauma from his mother being a Holocaust survivor, and so do all of his siblings. And I talk about it with my cousins because their mother's crazy in the best way possible. My father's nuts in the best way possible. And we're like, it is generational trauma from the Holocaust.
Yeah.
They had to survive under such incredible conditions. And you don't just go somewhere and it drops. It goes from generation to generation.
1000%. And I actually feel like only in our generation are we very conscious of it for our kids. I mean, I don't have kids yet, but I see how you and Elliot are raising your girls, and it's with just so much light and happiness and strong Jewish identity. It's my impression is that you're doing your best to shield them from the trauma, but at the same time, make sure they know.
Here's the thing. My daughter's in preschool, and pre-October 7th, I would have looked at other schools and I would have looked at the cool schools down the street. But this is so important now, and she goes to a school that's incredible, and it's Shabbat today, and she'll come home singing the prayers and singing Shabbat is here, and we have Shabbat every single Friday night, and that is so important. So the silver lining from October 7th is now we are in this Jewish community. That is so important.
100%. And how, like, for you being the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor and you were so close to your grandmother, like, how has that impacted you with seeing what happened October 7th and then the rise of anti Semitism since then that we've been dealing with?
I'm a person that worked the day I gave birth. I can work literally any day. I love what I do. And October 7th, I was stunted. I couldn't move. I went into Instagram holes. I was so broken from what happened. And then I couldn't understand that people were actually happy that it happened. It was like two major, like, wait, what? You're there. It was literally October 8th. People were posting, thank God this happened. This was a resistance. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so hard. And I laugh. I have this amazing company called of Autumn, and all I do is post things about Israel and Judaism. That's it. Because like
Yeah.
that is like taking over my brain constantly.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
knew the Bibas children were killed, unfortunately. I was in a meeting and I went into a conference room and started crying. I mean, I just don't do things like this.
Right.
It broke me. I would go to bed crying every night. It has truly deeply affected me. And listen, I went to Expo West yesterday with this trade show and I'm wearing my Jewish star, and my attitude is like, you want to hate me because I'm Jewish? I don't give a shit. Go ahead and hate me. Don't care. But you know what? I met incredible people like your friend from Belgium Boys,
Oh, and no,
who had,
she's
like,
amazing.
who had the coolest booth, the coolest bags, everyone was dying over her, and she had to bring home the hostages sticker on there, and she's, "This is the most important thing I'm doing." I'm like, I understand. It's so important."
No, I'm so happy you guys connected. You knew that you were both connected to If You Heard What I Heard, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. No, she's amazing and such a fierce advocate for our people, and you are too. And
We need more
no,
people like her, and I'm having dinner with my client tonight because all we do is care about what's happening in Israel. So the silver lining is my community is much stronger and we are tougher, and I
yeah,
know who are friends and who are not. And
yeah,
I'm not ashamed to tell people that I'm not happy with what they're doing or how they're thinking.
100%. And how much of that do you think is influenced by your grandmother? Because I know she was such a strong role model for you.
A lot. I mean, I have no filter. I was walking down Larchmont 2 Sundays ago with my daughter, and there was someone saying, "Hey, we need water for Gaza." And I started screaming at them in
Like,
front of my daughter. And you know what? I don't apologize for it. My grandmother would have done the exact same thing, and I have so much of her in me,
I love
and
that.
I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, I didn't meet your grandmother. I didn't know her, but I feel like I got to know her through you and through this process. And she strikes me as someone who really was just like so tough and so like in a
So tough.
kind way, but like, I'm going to tell you, this is how it is. Like,
There's amazing stories about her. Someone tried to steal her purse when she was, like, older, and she was wearing heels and chased after them and beat them down and took the purse back. Like, that is me. That
I
is
love that.
that is me, that is her.
100%. 100%. So, what's going to be important, like, as your kids get older? Because when I filmed your interview, you didn't have kids yet. Now you have 2 gorgeous, beautiful, amazing kids. And
Yeah.
so, like, has your perspective changed on what you wanna share with them as they get older and how you wanna tell them the story?
About my grandmother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my every time my father's here, I'm like, "Tell them about grandma, tell them" we called her Grandma New York, "Tell them about grandma, tell them about grandma," and he's like, I will," but yeah, just, like, instilling Shabbat, instilling the importance of Judaism,
Yeah.
instilling, fight for what you believe in, don't care what people think,
Yeah.
never be a victim.
Does it carry more weight for you now with your girls when you do Shabbat together, especially post October 7th? Does it carry more weight the fact that your grandmother couldn't celebrate Shabbat for all that time that she was going through the Holocaust and had to hide? And, do you think about that
I
from
just
time
think
to time?
Shabbat is a time to catch up from the week and, like, make it a priority no matter what, and always light candles with the girls, and always have challah, and always say the prayers, and always catching up with the week, and it's so important. I mean, the first Shabbat after October 7th, I remember everyone lit candles, and I just wanna, I light a candle and think of Yarden Bibas, and I just pray for their family, and I pray for these hostages to come home.
1000%. They need to come home now. It's
Yeah.
like enough.
Yeah.
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 I think we all felt that way right after on October 9th, we were like, it's enough. Bring everybody home, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just I saw something posted today that said it's March 7th, but it's still October 7th.
Yeah, for sure.
So after October 7th, your husband Elliot went to Israel to volunteer.
Yeah.
And you guys were so amazing about collecting toys, like right away, so
Yeah.
that you could bring toys over to the children that were in hospitals, children that had been orphaned from October 7th. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like, gathering everything together before he left and then his trip there?
Yeah, so I went into an Instagram hole and I was pregnant and I felt helpless and I was like only talking about this and my husband's definitely like that we need to do more. So he's like, "You know what? Are you okay if I go to Israel?" I'm like, "Go, go, go. I don't care that I'm pregnant. I don't care that I'm having a baby. Go."
Yeah.
So he went. He had the most incredible experience. He went before, he went after, and my husband is like an incredible chef, and he has this knife collection that he brought with him to cook for the soldiers. And he found a base to cook for soldiers on Shabbat. And he gave them his knife collection. And
What?
that meant so much to me because this is
Oh,
something that he takes with him everywhere. If we go out of town, we go anywhere, like he needs his knives for cooking. He's very particular about it. He's definitely a man of action. So he went to the hospital, he listened. And you know what? It's great for him because the topic of Israel comes up and he's been there and he can speak to it. And we're not afraid to argue with friends who think that what they're doing isn't right because he's been there and he understands what's happening.
yeah. No, we should do like an Instagram live with him at some point to dive into that more.
Yeah, yeah, he would love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, just I remember talking to you guys after he got back and just hearing what an impactful trip it was, for him and just what a difference it made. I just loved seeing you guys just leap into action with I remember the day that I came to drop off, I think I dropped off like sticker books or something for the kids that he could take to Israel and that you just had so much stuff everywhere. Like
We
I
did. People were so kind.
it was really cool. It was like, what, 3 duffel bags of stuff?
We
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he brought an extra suitcase and left it there.
Wow.
Of, like, all the gifts.
Wow. Wow. Did he
Yeah.
get to, like, hand it out?
Yeah, he went to Sheba, the hospital, and met with soldiers, met with victims. Yep, he did. Gave it all along. Yeah, no, it's incredible the community, like, jumped into action. It's also, like, clients I haven't seen in years, friends, acquaintances, everyone dropped off.
It's amazing.
It was amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Just shows how tight our community is.
No, our community is amazing. And, like, also our allies are incredible. Like, our ally I feel like we found I mean, it's definitely been hard to navigate for me anyway. Like, I've had a couple of friends who I've had to kind of distance myself from because, you know, they've like raised money for UNRWA. And I'm like, I just can't. Like,
Oh, yeah. I've cut off friendships. I mean, I grew up with someone, we lived together in college, and she posted a documentary about how horrible Israel is, and it was produced by Watermelon Pictures, and I actually lost my mind, and she didn't understand what she was doing, and we got into an enormous fight about it. This is a friendship I've had of 20 some years, will never speak to her again.
yeah.
Done. I
Wow.
I like I have 0 tolerance for that.
Yeah.
0.
100%. I went to a book signing, had nothing to do, it was like a beauty book or something. It had zero to do with any of this. And it was like just a couple months after October 7th. And I was introduced to this woman who's intelligent, successful, like lovely. Under any other circumstances, I would be like, oh my God, let's exchange numbers, let's hang out. But she started with, can you believe what Israel is doing to the children in Gaza? And I couldn't hold back. And I'm like a pretty reserved person. And I just was like, nobody wants to see an innocent child suffer. Nobody wants to see an innocent child caught up in any of this, but it's not because of Israel that they're suffering. So let's get that straight.
I have a really good quote someone sent me. "I will never apologize for mourning our own. I'll never stroke your anti-Semitic ego by reassuring you that my heart breaks for all children. I won't place my sadness on a balancing scale so you can assess my sorrows. Jewish people were mercilessly assaulted. We suffered unimaginable losses, each person, each story a deep wound. Millions of you keep pouring salt on those wounds. You don't get to control our grief. We hope, we cry, we mourn, and we hope again, despite you. Leave us alone." It's true.
So true. Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, just let us be. Like, don't come after us with this anti Semitism because our people were brutally murdered. Like, what?
I don't have any tolerance for it.
No, it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
when you see the anti-Semitism, especially on college campuses that we're seeing today, and I know you've done a lot of work, again, that people see, but they don't know that you're behind it. Like all of this work that you're doing with fighting anti-Semitism on college campuses.
Yeah, we work with a company called Campus In, and Yasmin, who went to Tulane, I believe, and she's incredible, and she's doing it with Mandana. And it's about a safe place for when a teacher is inappropriate, when you're trying to go to the library and you're not going to, and it's like a safe forum for you to tell people about this and tell the
Yeah.
campuses. But I just read today that Trump cancels $400 million in grants to Columbia. The cuts are
Yeah.
only the beginning.
But seeing all the anti-Semitism that we're seeing today, and it's actually kind of crazy for someone who listens to your grandmother's story and listens to like the lead up to the Holocaust and what she experienced there. And then you see what's going on today. Like it's really crazy.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know. It's terrible. I talk to my dad about it all the time. It's
What
awful.
does he say when you talk to him about it?
He's just like I can't believe this is happening in my lifetime. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
And
there
the
was a
world
little
needs Jews. Yeah.
yeah, there was like a little bit of, okay, the Holocaust happened, let's move forward. Like it's never going to get that bad again.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Yeah, we totally were wrong. I know. So speaking of your grandmother and specifically your interview, when you were preparing to share her story, were there things that you learned that you didn't know? Or since
Yeah.
October 7th and the conversations with your dad, were there new things that have come up that you didn't know about her story?
Yeah, she didn't talk about her story that much. There was so many details that I didn't know, and it was stressful to do the interview because there's so many details and years and time and, but there's definitely a lot I didn't know. My aunt, who's amazing, Suzanne Miller, she has a podcast in New York, but she wrote a book about my grandmother's experience and how she pleaded with prison guards saying, "I'm gonna have a lot of Jewish children, save me." Like, a lot of those details were incredible that I
Yeah.
got to learn again.
Yeah. I still can't get over the story of her like putting every piece of clothing she had on her and like scaling a fence, like running and scaling a fence as Nazis are
Also would
shooting at
wear a cross, like, put on a cross and go door to door.
yeah.
And when the Nazis came, ask for a glass of water to, like, go in someone's house.
Like, what is it like for you to be like, "Oh my god, my grandmother, like, lived through these things?"
I mean, that's the way I've known since I've grown up. I've always known she was this very special, remarkable, amazing woman,
Yeah. Yeah, so
you
it
know?
doesn't surprise you.
She's just did amazing things, like, when my sister and brother graduated high school, she came from nothing, she made a lot of money in the real estate market, and she cared about money so much in, like, the best way possible, but when my brother and sister graduated high school, she said, "Mara, Frank, come down," and I don't know if I told this story. She
No.
took thousands of dollars and threw them in the air. She kept throwing money in the air, throwing money in the air,
Oh
and we
my
were
god.
all, like, running and grabbing the money, and she said, "If I would have written you a check, you would have forgotten it. Now you'll always remember that I gave you this money." Like,
Oh
she
my
was
god.
amazing.
Oh, that's incredible.
My gosh.
I feel like when you shared your interview with us, I feel like you shared so many moments of, like, Jewish joy with her, that she brought so much joy to your life.
Yeah, she was just special, like a special, special, amazing woman, and I felt really close with her even though I didn't live in the same state as her. She was
Yeah.
just like fabulous and fantastic and jewelry and furs and at the time, which obviously aren't acceptable, but she truly came from no money.
Yeah.
And she was just like would hustle to the extreme to get money. It was in her DNA. She loved going jewelry shopping. She was just, like, fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
love
my
that.
dad tells the story that she always said, "My money's on Shelley," and, 'cause she had 8 grandkids, and I kind of feel bad always saying that, but she would say, "My money's on Shelley, my money is on Shelley."
Oh, she just
Yeah.
knew you had it in you to, like, go
Yeah,
build something.
so nice. Yeah,
So
yeah.
nice. And you've built this amazing, amazing business, amazing life, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
I know that she influences you in your work so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I'm just a crazy person when it comes to work. I love what I do. I'm very involved with my clients. I'm very aggressive. I don't hear the answer. I like if I hear no, I actually don't hear it. I make people like give me like ask again and again until I get the answer that I want. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I just have like, it feels special to me what I'm doing and what I'm bringing.
Yeah.
So, I feel a lot of it comes from her. I just feel like her presence around me, and she knows what's happening. She always has my back, and I just feel that.
I think it's a unique perspective that we have as grandchildren of Holocaust survivors. It's almost like our parents got the bulk of the trauma, and we have it a little bit too, but I feel like we got the majority of, like, the mazel, like, the joy, the resilience, like, the good parts about it. Not to say that our parents
Yeah.
don't have it, they do, but, like, we
That's
got
a good yeah, because my father and his siblings, like, yeah, they got a lot more trauma than we did
yeah,
from
like,
it, for
we
sure.
had some distance from it, so we were able to kinda take, like, "Oh my gosh, my grandparent experienced this, so what
Yes,
can I take from that and how can I turn it into a positive?"
absolutely.
I
I
feel like you've
agree.
really done that with you like, in your life, in your business, your
Thank
attitude.
you.
Yeah,
That's so nice. Thank
no,
you.
I feel like you do, you do. So, one of the things that you talk about in your interview is seeing anti-Semitism, at that and at the time we filmed your interview, it was like 2021 or 2022. So,
Mhm.
seeing the rise in anti-Semitism today post October 7th, what do you think we can do more of as a Jewish community and for our allies in the community or for those who are allies but are afraid to speak up? Like, what's your advice?
I mean, we just have to like keep speaking out at how unacceptable it is that what's happening at Barnard, how unacceptable of what is happening at Columbia, and keep like I'm hoping this administration truly takes away these visas, truly like, expels these kids, these university lose all this money. Like, they have to have repercussions for their actions.
1000%.
So I'm just hopeful and speaking out against it.
Yeah. So what do you think for our own community, what can we do more of?
Speaking out,
Just keep
doing
speaking out.
yeah, doing mitzvahs, talking about why it's important to speak out, not being silent.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've been so inspired by seeing how many wonderful allies we have that are not Jewish that speak out for us. I think it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Sarah and Aaron Foster are good friends. They've been wonderful. Aaron's Jewish now, but there's not enough of them.
No. And I have to say, I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. Like, to see Sarah, who isn't Jewish, the way that she posts and stands up for our community
Oh,
and
it's
speaks out against
incredible.
it, oh, she's amazing.
She's lost sales, she doesn't give a shit.
Oh
She's
my
tough, she
God.
knows what's right and what's wrong. Yep. And she's not afraid to speak her mind.
Shelley, you have to tell her from all of us, from the grandkids of Holocaust survivors, like it really makes a difference because I think, I've heard this a lot that like before the Holocaust, I think our grandparents and their families, like the Jewish community felt very alone,
Yeah.
in speaking up, right? And so like to have someone who's not Jewish stand up and speak up for you, with you, side with you, it
Yeah.
makes a world of difference.
Yeah, I agree,
Please
for
tell her
sure.
we said thank you.
I will, for
Yeah,
sure.
makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
and to keep doing it.
David Schwimmer gave a great speech this week
Yeah.
talking about, my God, there's so many people that we could use the help. We feel so alone.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel
100%.
Shrieky, Selma Blair, there's women that have been amazing at Deborah Messing and then Gal Gadot. And then there's just so many people that have just been said nothing. If anything, they're saying anti-Israel. Jon Stewart,
100%.
shameful. Seth
100%.
Rogen, terrible, like horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's been really inspiring to see David Schwimmer in particular, like the speech that he gave this week at the ADL, national conference, and Gal Gadot, how she stood up in the speech that she gave this,
Yeah,
at the ADL, like
amazing, beautiful.
really
Superwoman is behind us.
Superwoman is behind us. Go
Yep,
Superwoman. We
yep.
love Gal. We
Yeah,
love
she's
Gal.
incredible. She doesn't
She's the
care.
granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor.
She's amazing.
I've been trying to get her to do her If You Heard What I Heard interview. So gotta make that happen. I don't know how.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about, so you came to our Matisyahu concert. What was that, last May?
Yes, that
And
was
I remember
incredible.
like seeing you at the concert and just like I feel like everyone had such a smile on their face.
Oh, yeah, it was an incredible night, and it's going to New York, and I said to my New York team to all go.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Yay.
course. It was
Yeah,
amazing. He's
we need
incredible too.
he's amazing. And like we're gonna bring a Holocaust survivor on stage, so that'll be great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really impactful. But like I remember like seeing you at that concert and we both were like looking at each other just like with such big smiles. And it was just such an uplifting night. Like I feel like we need more of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
I feel
totally
like
agree.
our like community and our events are really centered around that. Like, we should be so proud to be Jewish. So let's celebrate.
Yeah, I agree, and he's, like, the coolest.
Yeah, we love Moses. Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
best.
for sure.
So what's something that you do with your girls now? Like we talked about Shabbat, but is there anything else that you do to like cultivate Jewish joy?
They read Purim books, they sing Shabbat songs, they read, Passover books, Hanukkah Isabel's favorite pair of pajamas is petite plume Hanukkah pajamas,
Oh,
like, she knows all about the holidays. She'll come home singing Shabbat is here. She's incredible.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's like the best. That must bring you so much joy.
Oh my God, so much joy. My girls bring me so
The
much joy.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they going to be for Purim?
I have no idea. I haven't thought about that.
Oh, okay.
My
Well, I
girls.
posted something on Instagram like a while ago. I post it every year, but it says like in a world full of Hamans, be an Esther.
Oh, yeah. Cute.
So maybe she'll be Esther.
Yeah.
right? We need more Esthers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know.
Just thank
Yeah.
you for doing this. Thank you for having me on. I'm grateful to share my story and my anger and all the crazy that goes on in my head about what's happening in the world.
I feel like though the anger is like it turns into action. I feel like you've done
I
such a
hope
good job of
so. I'm
like
sure there's a lot of people that would disagree or with my anger, but yeah, I
no.
know it, and it's there.
Well, I think we all have it, right? Like we see what's going on and we're just like, why is this happening? And what can we do
Yes.
about it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I've been so inspired by you and everything that you've been doing with everything on college campuses to fight anti-Semitism and all of the work and
Thank
amazing things you
you.
do for us.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's been nice. Former employees have reached out and been like, thank you for speaking up. And like after October 7th happened, I had 3 girls come into my office and they were like, "We're our friends work at other agencies. It's not acknowledged. No one talks about it." And one friend worked at like a publication and she got sent into the office and the boss was basically like, "It's Israel's fault." And they were like, "Thank you for creating an environment where we know what you stand for and we feel so safe here."
Yeah, seriously. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm grateful, of course. I'll
Wow.
post the Bibas on my Instagram.
I
Let
think it goes
people
a
beat
long
me
way.
for that. It's crazy.
No, I think it goes a long way to create a safe environment at work because I
You
have
should.
friends that work for huge companies that have not felt safe.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really isolating and it's awful, and
Yeah,
I want everyone to know, like, we're on the right side of history.
1000%. That's exactly it. Yes. So thank you, Shelley, for being here with us today.